Hi, hello there, and welcome to another episode of An Anthropologist Watches Mr. Snowflake Shaped by the Algorithm. Ooh. Sorry, I'm still stuck on spooky mode. Excuse me. This is going to be part 2 of episode 3. Leading up to this point, we have discussed the development of the Amberlynn online persona, and now here in episode 3, we have finally gotten to the breakup. I think I'm going to back things up just a smidge so that we'll start this episode with the breakup, the beginning of the breakup from Crystal, and then we will finish out the video. So if this is the first time you're watching, before we get any further, I am an anthropologist by training. I'm an archaeologist retired, and those are my credentials. We will be looking at Amber more critically, anthropologically, maybe even at the end of this one, because I think this is I think by the time we're at the end of episode 3 of Mr. Snowflake, I think it is a good time to start talking about, like, basically the anthropology of these videos. So there's that. And yeah, the video is sped up to time and a quarter. Kind of want to just jump in, but before we jump in too far, I do want to say thank you to everybody who's supporting the channel. You guys rock. Thank you to everybody who's going to hit the thumbs up button. Ding, ding. You can hit the thumbs down button. All 3 of you that continuously hit the thumbs down button on every single one of my Amberlynn videos. I see you. I see you. So if you want to hit that thumbs down button, it's okay. And yeah, so basically, if you want to get caught up to where we are at this point, I hate to be one of those people, but go back and watch part 1 of episode 3. It's probably the best. It's for the best, trust me. For the best for the algorithm for me, and for the best for information for you. So that being said, again, if you hear my animals running around in the background, I'm sorry. It is what it is. And actually, they've been fairly quiet. So maybe you won't get a surprise cat attack. Let's see. Yeah, I just want to jump into this. I want to get going on this. So we're going to jump in right at the beginning of Amber explaining to us the breakup with Crystal.
I'm going to come at you guys as a surprise, because it came at me as a surprise, definitely. I was going through something the last quite a few vlogs, to be honest. Doing a lot of crying off the camera, and just a lot of people guessed what I was going through. I'm not sure how, because I love Crystal more than I have ever loved anybody in my whole life.
And this is funny. Haha, not funny. This is funny, weird, not funny, haha, because, like, Amber, from this point forward, basically says the exact, like, almost verbatim, the exact same words every time someone breaks up with her from this point forward. She says this when Destiny breaks up with her. She says this when Becky breaks up with her, even though, wow, that's a whole thing. That's going to be an ugly section when we get to it. And of course, she said this when she and Feline broke up. So, I mean, I guess you can say that that's true. Like, if you're with somebody for a long period of time, you would hope they're the person that you have the most emotional attachment to outside of, like, family, you know? So you can kind of forgive that language. It's just strange that it's the identical phrasing every time. So I think that's also why people tend to not be so sympathetic with the various breakups from basically Destiny forward. It's just because the language Amber uses during all of her breakups, all 4 of them that we've seen so far. Am I missing somebody? Why do I feel like there's been 5? I don't know. Anyway, the language that she uses at each breakup is pretty much the same. I've never loved anybody more in my life. I gave her my entire heart. What's the other one that she always says? I will always love her. Yeah. It's just the same phrases time and time again.
More than I've ever loved anybody in my whole life.
More than I have ever loved anybody.
He says, okay, that was me. Sorry, I couldn't resist. He's calling back to a joke earlier in the video where Amber was speeding things up and slowing things down on her own, and now he's doing it as a joke.
My whole life.
more than I've ever loved anybody in my whole life.
It wasn't right, so I deleted it. I would never keep someone in a relationship if they didn't feel it was right. That's not the type of person I am.
And this is another interesting tidbit that everybody keeps going back to. And I think I say this at the end of episode 1, part 1 of episode 3, is that she says, I would never keep somebody in a relationship. That's not the kind of person I am. But then we find out, not just with Crystal, but with pretty much all of them, she somehow convinces them to continue to sleep in the same bed as her at night because she has a problem sleeping by herself. And so even after she breaks up, even after her relationships end, they continue because she basically somehow manipulates them into staying and sleeping in the bed with them until they physically leave her. Like with Destiny just straight dumps her. Becky gets out after being replaced, and same thing happens with Wifey. Wifey basically drives her up to, or gets down to Oklahoma, leaves her in her new apartment, and it leaves, just is gone. Crystal, I think, is a slightly different because I think Amber moves out of Crystal's house and in with Destiny. So that was really Amber leaving, but until Amber left, it is my understanding that her and Crystal were still sharing a bed.
Crystal really is my everything, and now,
That's another thing she says. She's my everything.
she's not my girlfriend, she's my best friend.
And then there's always that, and we're always going to be friends.
It hurts to say, and there's so many times where I look at her and I just want to hold her and hug her and tell her how much I love her. And I wish, I could, but I can't.
Yes, the thing Amber wouldn't tell us about that was causing her to vlog less was her and Crystal had broken up. Crystal seemed to be what Amber needed, but Crystal didn't love Amber anymore. Perhaps it was because Crystal didn't care much for the vlogging Amber would constantly do. Amber knew Crystal didn't like it, but she didn't seem to respect Crystal enough to stop including her in her videos. Or perhaps Crystal was just getting sick of Amber saying the same thing over and over.
So I'm literally obsessed with these sparkling ice. It can literally be anything. I literally hate when I do that.
Or maybe it was because Amber seemed to care more about YouTube than she did Crystal. Crystal always seemed to be the third wheel in her relationship to YouTube. A sort of cook, one might say.
Unrelated photo of Jason Blaha? Sexual? Wow. You look like a catch.
But maybe it wasn't because of any of that, because to be fair to Amber, the girl who shared everything on her channel,
It is literally my time of the month.
said she was not going to go into detail as to why Crystal ended the relationship. But it was still a shame for Crystal. She never wanted to appear in Amber's videos, and now...
I'm sorry, Crystal's a whole damn mood. She's a whole fucking mood.
She was in them forever. Even after the breakup, Amber kept filming Crystal, even when it was clear to everyone, apart from Amber, that Crystal didn't want her to film.
What are you doing? Are you recording this? Are you?
What is she doing?
I don't know. Are you recording right now?
The fact that Amber finds it funny that people are uncomfortable with her filming while they're doing something so mundane. Amber can't stop laughing. She just thinks it's the bestest, greatest joke ever. I don't know if Grandma's irritated, but obviously Crystal is. It just kind of says a lot. Amber is so tone deaf to the people around her that she thinks it's funny. And as long as Amber thinks it's funny, and it doesn't matter if anybody else doesn't find it funny.
What you doing? Why? I don't have any teeth.
Oh my god, I just laughed for a full minute. I don't think we played a rhetoric going.
Other rule. The genius thing.
History. What region was explored by Giovanni da Verenzano? Northeast, northwest, southeast, or southwest? Southwest. Northeast.
Verrazzano, Italian.
Verrazzano?
Verrazzano, Italian.
Verrazzano. I mean, I know it's Italian because of Giovanni, but it's Verrazzano? Don't come for me. I went to Google to find it out. Anyway. The reason I did that was props for sounding that one out. Y'all Italians, you're about as bad as the French. I'm just putting it out there.
Now, Amber not filming for days and almost weeks at a time made sense. It's likely that by not filming constantly, Amber thought she could win back Crystal. She did want Crystal to take her back after all.
Crystal broke up with me. I don't think it's my right to say why she did that. That is.
You are in the car, which means Crystal is driving, which means you are filming this, saying these words while Crystal. It's like literally no one else is there. I gotta find that. Where's my jar? I'm gonna have to put a literally jar together. It's like no one else is there when she's filming. It's as if nothing else exists while Amber is filming. Everything else is incidental, background, inconsequential, not actually real. The only thing that is real for Amber is what she sees in the viewfinder, which is usually herself.
It's her business, so that is not my business to share, if that makes sense. Tell everyone's comments who are super, super sweet. I appreciate that more than I could ever even express, and I really do hope that everything works out between us.
But after a few weeks of being broken up and realising Crystal was not going to take her back, Amber started up the filming again. Crystal was now talking to other girls online and seemed ready to move on. That may have seemed a little fast, but Crystal had been thinking of breaking up for over a year. Roughly how long Amber had been making videos for YouTube. Amber, just like her fans, were unsure for what the future would hold.
That's interesting to know. So basically, about the time that Amber started making videos, that was the final straw for Crystal. Probably because Amber gave her freaking no privacy and did not respect it when she would ask her not to film her. And I did comment a few times, if somebody treated me like that, I would break up with their asses. So clearly, that was her thought as well.
For her. Would Amber have to move out of the family home quickly? Would Amber have to say goodbye to their pets and never see them again? It almost certainly meant that Amber and Crystal playing board games together would soon be over.
How long was Amber living with Crystal? How long did they live together, including the breakup era? I'm just curious. Because I know she moved in from other things that Mr. Snowflake has found via Amber's social media texts from way back. We know that Amber moved in with Crystal after she broke up with Casey. I'm never really sure the name. Her prior partner to Crystal. So how long was Amber and Crystal living together prior to Amber moving out of Crystal's and moving in with Destiny?
Amber knew she could be left in a sticky situation with this breakup, so she started doing perhaps what she should have done a long time ago.
I filled out some applications to try to get a job. I called around trying to see if they even got the application. I called Walmart and I'm not even in their system. And I'm like, what? They want me to go to Walmart to fill out the application, I guess. We're on our way to go do that. Walmart Hiring Center. I have to sit in this little stool. Okay. Ready, set, go. I just did my application and you guys will never ever guess how long it took me. I was so precise. I thought it was just like an application. Here comes this quiz / test.
I kind of want to go fill out a Walmart application just to see what it's like, because I hear a lot of people talk about it like it's the entrance exams for the MCAT or something like that. You know, it's just, it sounds like it's very difficult to do. And I'm not mocking people who have done it. It just sounds like Walmart has made their application process ridiculously complicated for no reason, because no offense, Walmart, you're Walmart. You know, it's that kind of a thing. But I kind of want to go fill one out just to see exactly how bad it is. Because I think it's ridiculous if it's really that bad. Going off of Amber saying it's that bad, was it really? I don't know.
/assessment full of 65 in-depth questions. I should have been studying for this. I was really nervous. It said,
I mean, were they asking you like the circumference of the planet and the distance from Mars to the moon? I mean, what was in depth about any of this? Like, is it just one of those like gotcha personality quizzes where they ask you the same damn question 5 different ways? Is it one of those? Like, if that's all it is, that's just annoying.
that it will tell me if I pass or fail. If I failed, I won't be able to do another application for Walmart for 2 full years. So I did the 65.
Really? What's the point of that?
5 questions and I passed. I was so flippin' happy you don't even know. The whole situation took me over 3 hours. They said they'll contact me via email. There was a girl.
Amber had not worked in the whole time we had been getting to know
3 hours? Look, when I worked for temp agencies, it didn't take me 3 hours, and they were giving me like legit skill tests, like typing and filing, and what else did I have to prove that I could do? Oh, operate a computer. It's just, that didn't even take 3 hours. My ACTs didn't take that long. Maybe they were supposed to, and that could have been part of the problem. I still scored really well on the ACTs. I just could have scored better.
her, but she was ready. She was still learning to drive with Crystal, as the two remained friends, and now she was applying for jobs. This was exactly what she needed. To be more independent and working, making new friends, earning her own money, not always relying on Crystal and her family. Having a job.
What were the monetization rules back in 2015? Or were there even like monetization? Could you get monetized back in 2015? I don't remember when the monetization thing started. As I said before, Amber seems to be really good at manipulating her exes into continuing to spend time with and sleep with her. I don't know about having the adult times, but definitely they are still like having contact, excessive amounts of contact with her after the breakup, to the point where it basically is like as if they did not break up. So, and saying something to the effect of like, I don't want to force somebody who doesn't want to be in a relationship to be in a relationship with me, kind of tells me that Amber knows that she has this skill of manipulation, which doesn't surprise me, honestly. I mean, it's again both a defense mechanism and like it's something that happens with people who have like severe trauma. It's a coping mechanism. It's not a healthy one. It's not a good one. It's not one you want to rely on. I mean, it's not healthy. It doesn't make you a good person, but it is a trait, and it is a coping mechanism of people who go through severe amounts of trauma, especially as children. Which is another reason why I never doubt Amber's stories about that.
Something that a narcissist would do, which was an accusation that was being used by some of her viewers. But I don't know if she is a narcissist or not. I'm not qualified to make that judgment, although I know someone who just might be. Hello, this is Dr. Flake. Today's question is Amberlynn Reid a narcissist? Just a reminder, I'm not diagnosing anybody in this video, only speculating about what could be happening. If you enjoy this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and consider supporting me on Patreon. I will put the link to Patreon in the description to this video. Amberlynn Reid is a super popular plus-sized YouTuber who is known primarily for her interesting vlogs and known secondly for her weight loss journey. Amberlynn Reid has now been accused by many for some time now of being a narcissist. Again, a reminder, I'm not diagnosing anyone, instead we'll tell you the most common traits of a narcissist. One of the main traits of a narcissist is being extremely sensitive to criticism. As we know, Amberlynn Reid has taken several breaks already at this point because of the light criticism she has received from online trolls, as she calls them, and she will argue with people in her comment section on her videos. A narcissist will create their world around them to be what they want it to be, and here we see how someone has called Amber out for getting rid of negative comments and leaving just the kind comments. Another common trait a narcissist will show is wanting to be recognized as superior even without achievements that warrant it. and this can be seen when Amber will expect praise for doing well on her fitness program, even when not putting in the required effort in the gym, or when she would go over her calorie limit for that day, but would want praise for logging all of those calories. The next trait is exaggerating achievements and or talents. We see this particularly when Amber tells us how good of a dancer she is. Another trait of the narcissist is believing that no matter what they are talking about, others will find it as interesting as they do. We especially see this when Amber records literally hours and hours worth of footage of her playing board games, expecting her viewers to be as interested in the games as much as she is. A hugely infamous trait is a general love for themselves, more than anyone else in their life.
I am a really kind-hearted, funny person.
Another trait is thinking you know better than everyone else, and we see this when her fans actually offer her advice and Amber refuses to take it. The narcissist can become extremely obsessed with something, in this case Amber and her vlogging. Sometimes vlogging to tell us she wasn't vlogging, but then would proceed to vlog further.
I'm not vlogging today, as you guys can tell. My necklace is bothering me, sorry. I just went to Starbucks, by the way. I got the passion fruit tea, literally, oh my god. I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.
Another is not wanting but needing other people's approval and love.
You guys are sweet, 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 sweet messages to me. Wherever you can find me, whether it be Twitter, Instagram, AskFM, just everywhere. Comments on old YouTube videos. You guys are just like, I miss you, I miss you, I miss you. Where are you, where are you? And it literally brought tears in my eyes. Wow, I'm loved.
Like I say, I'm not here to diagnose, just to give some clear non-biased.
What's that one from? That's just such a weird face. Such a weird angle.
Thoughts on narcissistic traits. Please put any opinions and thoughts in the comment section. They always generate an interesting dialogue. As always, I hope you found my analysis of this topic to be informative. Thanks for watching.
Okay, since he brought it up, I understand strongly that Amber has what can be considered characteristics of a narcissistic personality. I get that. I do. And do I necessarily, I don't agree with the narcissism diagnosis that the internet is insistent upon applying to Amber, mainly because the internet is not a doctor and should not be making diagnoses. And I will stand by that forever. Even if you are a doctor on the internet who is qualified to make diagnoses as such, you shouldn't be doing it to people over the internet, because I personally think that's unethical, and also it's the internet. So there's my stance on that. I get that people see what they think are narcissistic traits in Amber. I'm not debating that those don't exist and that she isn't constantly being self-centered and selfish and self-aggrandizing and, you know, all of the other little things. I'm not doubting the behaviors. That's not my problem. My problem is throwing around something like calling her a narcissist every freaking time she opens her mouth, which, okay, whatever, if that's what you want to do, but what is it gaining you other than just constantly calling her a narcissist? It also seems to be a way for people to try to negate Amber's actual lived experiences and the experiences that she does share with us on the internet. And I feel like it's a bit much sometimes. And it's like a way of shutting down the conversation, as much of one as there is. And it's just unhelpful, I guess, is my point. Also, I just really don't like it when people go out of their way to diagnose someone with what they see or they perceive is a disorder that this person has based on whatever this person on the internet who's diagnosing her has read about said diagnosis on said internet. It's like a snake eating its own tail at that point. That's kind of my stance on the whole like narcissist thing. And it's actually this is like one of the first times that Mr. Snowflake does this in his series that I feel is actually kind of problematic. Yes, the clip, he makes a good arguments and makes some very, very convincing comparisons between Amber's behaviors and various traits of a narcissist as per the internet, or what is that thing called? The book that has all the disorders in it? I don't know. DMC something. Yes, he does. However, regardless of his sarcastic character, Dr. Snowflake, he is not qualified to make that call. Neither am I, and probably neither are you. There we go. There's the cat bomb. Did you have to come? Speaking of narcissists. Yes. Oh, God damn it. Really? What do you want? I love you. How do you smell? There we go. Can you sit nicely? Can you be a gentleman? If you really appreciate it if you quit knocking my mic out. You're a good boy, a bit. He's a good boy. He's the turdiest turd that ever turd. Yes, you mesh. Alright, anyway. I guess that was my sign to carry on. Anyway, I think I've made my point clear. There we go. How badly did you knock my mic out, my dude? My cat has come in and told me to hush. But anyway, I think I've made my stance on the whole narcissism thing pretty clear. I do know that there are channels that are very popular who argue the whole narcissism thing and then try to cover it up with the whole, like, this is not a diagnosis. I mean, yeah, it's not a diagnosis because you can't diagnose. You're not that type of psych, or you're not even that qualified. However, anyway, my point is like continuously repeating something on the internet like that does kind of create the illusion that it is true, because people will tend to believe that. That is something that has been studied and does appear to be like a universal trait, is we like to believe things that are repeated frequently. What is it? A lie that's repeated frequently enough becomes the truth, kind of a thing. Okay, man, I don't know where this conversation got derailed at this point. But my point is, Mr. Snowflake isn't qualified to diagnose Amber with narcissism. Other channels on YouTube are not qualified to diagnose Amber with narcissism. Can you make comparisons between Amber and her behavior and what the internet says are the characteristics of narcissism? Yeah, probably. He does make a seemingly good argument as far as like a layman's argument of narcissism. Maybe it'll come out that Mr. Snowflake is, like, in the real world a practicing psychologist. Maybe. Professionally, he still shouldn't be making diagnoses of people on the internet. Because if she was one of his clients, assuming all of these things that I'm speculating were true, it would be horribly unethical, if not, I think, downright illegal, for him to talk about one of his clients on the internet. You know, that kind of a thing. And I think it's unethical for people who are qualified to make diagnoses to diagnose people over the internet. People they don't know. I'm not entirely sure what I have said or had not said since the cat interrupted me, but the whole thing about do I personally believe Amber is a narcissist? I don't care. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change her behavior whether she is or isn't. She is still very self-centered. She is still very concerned about her own needs first. She doesn't appear to be able to empathize or sympathize with the other people in her life. Like, those are traits. Those are things that we can clearly see and we can clearly call out. So that's what I would rather focus on, other than just trying to give it all a blanket diagnosis of she's a narcissist, you know? So there's that. Is she manipulative? Yes. It is interesting to me that people were calling her a narcissist as far back as the beginning of her videos. But to be fair, I don't know a single person on the planet who doesn't have some narcissistic traits. It seems to be natural and universal for all humans to demonstrate that. So if Amber's a narcissist, then I guess all of us are, especially all of us on the internet, which are a lot of us. So, which I think would be an abnormal number of narcissists given the population of the world. You see where I'm going with this? So, anyway. Trying to think if I've made my argument. And I really hope I have, and I apologize for how choppy it was, but the cat decided that that was the point that he needed to come in. Anyway, let's finish this up.
Amber and Crystal were over. We knew at some point Amber would have to move out and say goodbye to Crystal's family.
Cat.
Amber and Crystal may have been over, but they were still friends, and they still did things couples would do. They still went to the cinema. They still went out for meals, just the two of them.
If you ever come to Texas Roadhouse, you have to get the cactus blossom.
Man, I tell you what. I've been to Texas Roadhouse and Outback a few times in the past couple of years. Just a few times. And I remember as a kid, I used to love getting the blooming onion with my dad and eating that. And it was crispy and it tasted good and it wasn't mushy. And the last couple times I've had it, it has been one of the saddest things I've ever eaten. And it's to the point now where I don't even want to order them. They're just ridiculously awful now.
It is onion, and you dip it in the sauce. Oh my gosh, it's so delicious. Crystal got a water with lemon. I got diet soda.
The greatest discovery since fat women discovered Diet Coke.
Now I can eat anything!
They even shared a bed still, which many found strange, but I couldn't possibly comment. Dude, that's really fucking weird. Not much had really changed between the two. It's almost...
I mean, it's weird to me. I'm sure somewhere it's not weird to somebody. People do weird things when they have relationships.
almost as if Amber returned to her ordinary life, and nothing had really changed. Which perhaps explains why Amber seemed back to herself very quickly after the breakup announcement video.
Yeah, see, that's kind of where I was going with the whole, like, Amber manipulating her partners into basically maintaining the relationship. She's just kind of like, I would never make somebody stay in a relationship with me. But yet, the behavior of her and her exes for a long time after the actual breakup is basically the exact same as it was when they were in the relationship. I'm guessing maybe sexy times aren't happening anymore, assuming they ever were, but it's just like, I think she does. And I think she does know that she can do it. And that's why she says it. Amber kind of gives herself away a lot by the actual words that she uses, the things that she's worried about people thinking about her. Because why would you think about it unless some of these things you're just like, I would never have thought of that until you brought it up, which means that you're the one thinking about it more than I am. Does that make sense? Like, you're more worried about me thinking that about you than I am consciously making the connection before you mention it. I guess if that made sense.
She seemed back to her old self, back to telling us how she was going to lose weight this time, back to playing board games, back to filming things that only she cared about, like when she explained what her bath routine was. Thankfully, Amber didn't film herself having a bath. Even she drew the line here. You've got to be pretty pathetic to do that kind of thing.
There's loads left.
Look, tastes like fucking shit.
So,
I'm sorry, that man is just beyond funny to me.
Amber was back to filming herself constantly again, and she was back to counting calories. She had been...
Okay, I didn't register what was happening exactly at that moment. I saw the blueberries and I was like, oh, she's going to make a shake. And then she goes to the cheese bars and I was just like, what is happening? No. It's just a grocery haul.
sporadically counting calories over the last few months, a few days doing it here and there, then stopping. Then a week or two would go by and she would count calories again for a few days or possibly even several.
Is she eating frozen blueberries, like, straight? Who does that?
Well, that's what she had been telling us anyway, but by now we had come to take everything she said with a pinch of salt.
Gotta be honest with you guys, I have not successfully counted calories in quite a few months.
She loves her catharsis moments. Cathartic. She loves her cathartic moments where she just comes out and admits everything to us, and like it's somehow resetting the cosmic scale for her. And maybe in her head it is. Maybe in her head this is like her confession, and like after the confession, like everything goes back to zero, I guess. It's also been a while since we've had one. So I guess we're due for one soon. Kind of like getting our butts chewed out. We're due. So it's probably going to happen soon. Probably after she comes back. Assuming she comes back.
She may have been loose with the truth about counting calories, but she promised us she was back to healthy eating at least, and she was back to explaining why the healthy eating was actually bad for her.
For some reason, when I was diagnosed, the pain completely stopped for 2 years. A lot of the reason why it stopped was because I completely stopped my weight loss journey. I got gallstones because of rapid weight
What the hell are we talking about?
loss. Every time I would lose weight, the attacks would come. Every time I gained weight, the attacks would leave. I was sabotaging my mind so much by gaining weight. I did not want gallstone attacks. The pain was something that I just couldn't bear.
She has had gallstones for a while. That's interesting. I don't 100% believe her that every time she diets, because she doesn't lose weight that rapidly. So I don't believe that, but I think she thinks it. I don't know. Let's watch.
This week, I have been doing absolutely incredible. I have not
No, she hasn't.
been doing this well in a very, very long time.
No, she hasn't.
What comes with that is weight loss, and the weight loss is probably happening really, really fast. I
No, it's not. Sorry. Never mind. No, she knows she's lying.
haven't weighed myself, so I don't know how fast.
Yeah, she does.
And what's happening with that is I am having gallstone attacks again. I'm also having some other symptoms that I don't really feel like sharing. It's
Okay, yeah, well, that's true.
really, really, really making me nervous. If your attacks get worse, your gallstones get worse. Your gallstone will go into your intestine, and it will go to your liver. I
don't think that's how that works. I might be wrong. How do gallstones get out of here? No. Apparently, I don't think gallstones can go into the liver. They do appear to evacuate your body through the small intestines, through the bowels. But gallstones and kidney stones appear to be different things, as says the AI. I have like the AI assisted Google search thing because I'm special. I think everybody has it now, but I got to beta test it because I'm special. But anyway. So that's how reliable it is my point. Anyway. Dr. AI says that that's not possible, but go on. It doesn't surprise me that Amber's confused. She didn't have AI assisted searches back then.
do not want that to happen to me, you guys. I'm terrified. I'm tired of living in fear to lose weight. I'm absolutely tired of it. I want to be normal again. I'm tired of feeling sick. I'm tired of feeling the pain. I want to lose weight fast. I really, really do. I want to be healthy. For that to happen, I need my gallbladder to come out.
Okay, so she's needed to remove her gallbladder since 2015. Are we in 2016 now? I don't know. Either way, I don't think she's ever had her... She still has her gallbladder, because that was her latest complaint about Ozempic.
To be fair to Amber, her health issues did send her to the hospital.
I'm literally an idiot. They gave me one of these, pee things, and I was supposed to pee in it, but I had to pee so bad from drinking so much water that I peed in the toilet and forgot to pee in the cup. So about that.
Gallstone
How do you... Okay.
issues are brought on by too much cholesterol in the body. So it's a mystery as to why Amber was suffering from this.
Here's something I've noticed about Amber when she goes into the hospital. Because she always films herself or has somebody film her. She always looks really happy to be there. She always looks like almost giddy when she's there. Like she's excited to be there. It's like her happy place is a strange way of putting it. But like every time I've ever seen her in the hospital, I'm trying to think of like the most recent ones or the ones around the time when she was having her cancer. Because I feel like those times she probably wasn't, but it does seem to me in my memory that she always looks really happy to be in the hospital if she's the patient. Even when she's not, she seems to be really happy to be there. So I don't know. It's just an observation.
Amber was also back to being proud of herself.
Crystal and I just went to one of our favorite like buffet places. It's called Hibachi. It's Chinese food, sushi, things like that. Normally I go there and easily eat 3 to 4 plates of just pure piled on food, fried rice.
God damn it! Now I want a buffet. Damn it! Now I want buffet.
Fried like everything, whether it be crab rangoon, fried chicken, not a single vegetable.
What's wrong with you? Yeah, I just saw that.
For dessert, I get a whole plate. I love their ice cream. They have these medium-sized ice cream, vanilla ice cream cups that I'm obsessed with, and I usually have like 4 of those. I'm honestly so beyond proud of myself. Dessert consisted of cantaloupe. I got one of the ice creams that I like, and I only took 3 bites of it. Like,
What? Like, who am I now? Like, who am I?
I love being on track. It's the orange chicken, full size, super delicious. And that's what I wanted, honestly. Deep down in my heart, I was like, no. I got a 570 calorie Asian salad, which literally was gigantic. I didn't even finish it all. So I had less than 570 calories.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think I see her sunglasses on top of her head.
I normally would get a cheesecake that's around 1,100 calories. I would leave the place sick because I'd also
Dude, that cheesecake will sneak up on you.
get appetizers, I'd eat the bread. This time I got a cheesecake that was 600 calories. It was a low carb with strawberries. I'm walking out of there not full.
That's a Wegmans bag. That reusable grocery bag behind her, that's from Wegmans.
I'm satisfied, proud, I'm happy and accomplished. I just can't even believe I did this. I honestly, it's crazy. Like, I don't know. I'm just really proud of myself and I wanted to share that with you guys.
It's like listening to a drunk tell you that they're proud of themselves for having one drink. I don't know. It's not healthy, but...
And she was back to being annoyed with the scales again.
I did weigh in today. I was expecting to be down weight from yesterday. I stepped on the scale and for some reason it said error. There's no way on track. I'm eating my calories, I'm eating healthier, etc. It really just dampers my mood completely. The scale really knows how to get to me. I hate how the scale just decides the type of mood I'm going to be in today. It's very...
Scale is an inanimate object.
So
I noticed that with a lot of like FA and like the 600-pound life peoples is like, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's been a few times when I've weighed myself and the scale has not been where I wanted it to be, but it's, you know, and it's just like stupid scale. But like, I know it's not really the scale. The scale is an inanimate object, but like, I hear this a lot out of her, and I hear this a lot from the 600-pound life peoples, and they're just like, the scale is my enemy. The scale has plotted against me. The scale is lurking in the corner waiting, you know, to screw up my whole life. It's just very strange. It's like blaming the Alexa unit for giving you the wrong weather and then thinking that it is out to get you.
it seemed like everything was back to
Because it is.
normal despite the breakup. Although not everything was as it was before. Amber had often been accused of quitting every new thing she started. New challenges, new diets, new goals. And she had always stubbornly denied ever quitting anything. However, maybe because of the breakup, or maybe because her scales couldn't read her weight any longer, the penny seemed to have finally dropped for Amber.
Someone recently on Ask FM told me that I have gave up on absolutely everything I've ever started once I started YouTube. Don't mind my cat hair. I'm a cat lady and I love it. Regarding me giving up on practically everything, they are absolutely correct. I start plans, programs, walking. Anything that I start, I completely give up. I back down, I lose sight of myself and completely become weak. Counting?
She may have realized she was a quitter, but there was one thing she was not quite ready to give up on.
I'm currently on my way to the OA meeting. I've been texting one of the people that actually attend the OA meeting, and she seems really, really nice, and she's super excited for me to go there. She's pushing me to go there. It's like we've known each other forever. Super, super nervous. My stomach hurts. Here we go. There's the building.
Do these reusable bags just live in the backseat? They're the same damn bags every time. They have the same things in them. They must be like the travel bag, like the go bag. You know, like everybody's got one in the backseat that has like stuff in it that you take to someone else's house with you. Not like you're going to spend the night or anything. It's just like you're full of your comfort items or something. I don't know.
This one right here, I'm pretty sure. I just got out of the meeting. I got my little chip for attending. I also got a bunch of pamphlets. It was Crystal and I and 3 others. I wasn't expecting to read or anything, but I decided to read. Felt comfortable there, but not comfortable enough.
What are you reading? I've never been to an OA meeting.
Off in my own skin to share anything. As you guys can tell, my cheeks are so red. They're like purple looking. So embarrassing. The meeting was an hour. I cried literally 10 times plus. Whenever someone would share their story or they're reading something that struck home, I cried and I couldn't help it. They were like silent tears, but there were a lot of them. I really plan on going to this meeting when
I wonder if she noticed if anyone else around her was also crying, like if she was empathizing with the people in the room or if she was just like in her own universe. I suspect it's the latter, because the former would require her to like acknowledge that there's other people. It's more like the people were performing for her and she was reacting to their performances, as opposed to the other people were actually sharing themselves and she was reacting to the empathy that she claims that she has.
whenever I'm not busy on Fridays. I'm really, really happy I went.
Whenever I'm not busy on Fridays. Girlfriend.
I was taught a lot. I really am not alone. It is insane that these people feel exactly how I do on a day-to-day basis.
She may not have said much when at the meeting, but just getting through the door was the first step to recovery. And she planned on going every Friday if she could. However, since attending her first meeting, 3 Fridays had passed and she had not gone back.
I'm not filming you! You're so cute!
That wasn't the only thing she seemed to have given up on.
Hello everybody, I just wanted to make a real quick video.
I hate that necklace.
Another weight loss diaries, if you will. I'm currently not on track.
The healthy eating, the 30 days of movement, everything in the last 3 months she said she was going to do, she didn't. Well, apart from the gym. She did manage to make it to the gym once, then told us she couldn't go back because of a cold sore on her face.
If this gets bigger by tomorrow, I will not be attending the gym. The last 2 days have been...
Okay, I know I'm a big advocate for not going to the gym when you don't feel good because thank you, I don't need your germs on everything, but the cold sore? Are you licking the equipment? A cold or a sneeze or coughing or, sweaty palms, that kind of crap, sweaty palms from being sick. Yes, please don't come, or at least wear a mask and rub everything down with like disinfectant when you're done. But a cold sore? I get that they're painful. I really do. But what does it have to do with you working out?
Exceptionally cold for spring and around this time. It confuses my body and I get really chapped lips, which could possibly cause a cold sore. Here I feel really bad pain.
Carmex. Fix your ride up. Put a little bit on before you go to bed at night. Put a little bit on when you get up in the morning. You're good. Trust me.
If I end up getting a cold sore, videos will have to stop until the cold sore is gone. It's something I've dealt with my whole life.
She seemed to stop altogether with any healthy talk and instead replaced it with going to more and more restaurants.
I think that was sag paneer, which I actually like, but that didn't look very appetizing. No shame. It just didn't look appetizing in that video clip.
And buffets. How can someone who makes so many videos about health end up going to so many buffets?
I don't know who that guy is.
Despite Amber not sticking to anything recently, the scales had at least forgiven her. For now, anyway.
Happy to announce that the scale finally read me again. I'm really, really happy. I weighed in today at 405.2.
So where does the scale tap out then? It must... Last time she said it, before the scale stopped reading her, she was only 403. So does the scale tap out around 450? So it doesn't even make it to 500? Why would you make a scale like that? In this modern era. Like, I understand back in the day when people didn't get above 300. But in the modern era, I mean, shit, people are topping out around 9, so why not make a scale that goes that high?
Sadly for Amber, though, her and Crystal were still broken up. And to resolve any unanswered questions and clear up any confusion, Amber uploaded a video answering fan questions. And if you were an Amber diehard fan, it was a difficult watch.
When Crystal first broke up with me, it was literally... everything changed. And I didn't want to believe it.
Okay. Unrelated, but kind of related. This is the exact same body language and sniveling that Anna from Glitter and Lasers does. Like, she does the same hiccuping and the same hand gesture. It's the same thing. They do the exact same thing. Because Anna's constantly crying on camera over something.
We hid it from everybody. Even when we told Crystal's parents that we broke up, they were shocked. Her dad said, but you guys seemed fine. Crystal told me one day she didn't feel the same for me anymore. She was not in love with me at all. She just was not in love with me anymore. I literally died. My just whole world fell apart.
That is kind of rough. I mean, that's rough for anybody. I'm sorry. This is not what you want to hear.
Literally died. My just whole world fell apart.
I realized that I'm not in love with her either. I love Crystal so much as a person. She changed my life. She made me realize that there are angels out there. People with big hearts. God, I wasn't supposed to cry. What is this?
You telling us that you're crying?
I cannot let her be with me. I do not want to trap her. I'm not that type of person at all. I know I need to move on, and Crystal's accepting it as well. I can't be here forever. I feel like it's very unhealthy for
I know I have to move on, and Crystal is accepting it as well. But Crystal's the one that broke up with you. So Crystal doesn't have to accept anything because Crystal's already made this decision and has clearly moved on. You're the one who's having a hard time coming to terms with it. That was just a very interesting way of her changing the conversation so that it is about her and Amber is in control of the situation as opposed to being out of control of the situation. You know, Crystal broke up with her, so Amber is the one that has to come to terms with it. Now it's Amber doesn't want to trap Crystal, and Crystal is coming to terms with it.
For me to stay here. These people are my family. They've become very much like my family. But I feel like if I stay here, I'm putting my whole life on hold, and I feel like I'm really not going to get anywhere.
See, this is why I'm wondering, like, how long did they live together? Because Amber's very comfortable here. Like, she does seem to perceive these people as extended family. So, like, how long were her and Crystal together the whole time? I don't know the answer to that one. That one I will also accept a million explanations for in the comment section.
With my life, and that's the truth. As much as it sucks and it hurts.
Okay, I wish I got a million comments. That would be amazing, but honestly, I'm just being hyperbolic.
I know I need to move on, and Crystal's accepting it as well.
Amber seemed to think it was her decision to leave the family house, or at least that's how it sounded. Perhaps that's just how she dealt with the situation. It couldn't have been easy after all. She had spent so much time around Crystal and her family, her grandma, the pets. It mustn't have been easy to think about leaving all of that behind. Even the place. Amber had moved to Virginia over 3 years ago just to be with Crystal.
3 years. I mean, 3 years of basic. Well, I mean, they've been living together, so it's not like an off-on dating thing where, like, sometimes you're over at one person's house and sometimes you're over at the other person's house, but you both, like, go back to your respective spaces after the fact. Like, she's basically been part of the family for 3 going on 4 years, so I get it. I do. I understand it, especially when, like, it just kind of, knowing Crystal probably just came out of the blue. So
Surely it was going to be hard to say goodbye to Virginia as well.
I don't like Virginia as a whole. I don't like the weather. I don't like the people. I don't like the environment.
So you moved to Kentucky. Congratulations. Let me explain what's going to happen there.
Amber and Crystal had of course broken up, and despite Amber having some hope they would one day work it out, she realised now it was over for good. Yes, she was sad, and it was going to take some time to get over this. After all, they had been together 3.5 years. Amber had never loved anyone as much as she loved Crystal.
So if going back, what he said was that Crystal had basically been trying or been thinking about breaking up with Amber for over a year. That means 2.5 years in, Crystal was trying to figure out an exit plan from the relationship. And of that time, Amber had been vlogging for basically 1.5 years of it. I do wonder if the YouTube, if not caused it outright, if it didn't, like, speed up the process of Crystal breaking up with Amber. I do wonder about that. So that's the end of episode 3. So that would also be the end of part 2. And thanks to the cat, I have no idea how long this episode is because it took a ridiculous amount of time to wrangle the cat, and I apologize for that. I did want to talk a little bit about like the anthropology of Amberlynn through Mr. Snowflake's lens here. And I wanted to start with episode 3 because, again, I feel like the first 2 episodes were basically building the character, and now we've kind of unleashed the character into the real world kind of a situation. Like the online persona of Amberlynn has been solidified, and we've also made it to the first major breakup within Ambers in the Amberverse that we all got to experience together. So that's a significant moment for the Amberverse going forward. I didn't realize how early it happened. I thought it happened like a little bit later, but apparently it happened within the first 2 years. Hey, hi, hello there. This is editing me. I decided to save the longish analysis that I started going into for a different video. So there's going to be a addendum to the Mr. Snowflake episode 3, just because I do start talking about some topics in depth, and it's just the video was already long to begin with because of everything. And so if you've made it this far in the video, go ahead and leave the traditional snowman and or snowflake down in the comments section. Let me know what you guys think so far, and I will see you in the addendum video. But anyway, I just think it would be interesting to look a little deeper into the Snowflake episodes up to episode 3 and kind of go over them the same way I went through the first 15 days of Amber doing her 15 days of trying most recently. So yeah, anyway, emoji, snowflake emoji, please pardon the roof repair that's going on. If you've made it this far, you may as well hit the like button, may as well stick around and subscribe. And thank you to everybody who supports the channel. Thank you to my subscribers. Thank you to my members. And yeah, I will see everybody in the next one. Bye.